Hello, everybody. I am talking today about the planetary news of May 2020. What is going to happen in May? It is a very chaotic month. Too much happening for us. So sometimes we can get very confused. There are three retrogrades. There's Mercury is going to change 2 signs, Mars is changing signs, Kal Sarpa is being broken, um, Rahu changes nakshatras. So if you are confused, I'm going to try to unconfuse you a little bit and also tell you how to deal. I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking May 2020. And just remember to subscribe, press the bell notification, and I will be posting many videos in May because so much is happening. So you don't want to miss out. And as the world is starting to unfold and come out, sometimes there's so much different news and so much information, and we don't know what is happening. So the main thing is this, that May is going to be quite volatile, a lot of things happening. So we have to step very carefully during May, because right from the start, it begins with the Mars going into Aquarius on 4th of May, and then on 8th of May, Mercury changes signs, then the triple retrograde from 10th of May to 14th, Saturn, Venus, and Jupiter turn retrograde. I've already made a video of how that affects you. You can look at that. Then Rahu changes nakshatras. This is a very key moment for us because it is out of the Ardhara Nakshatra, and that is at the 20th, 21st of May. And then it is Mercury is going to move into Gemini and break the Kal Sarpa Yoga. The Kal Sarpa Yoga that has been bothering all of us since March, 25th of March. So a lot of things happening. So what is the main thing, if you look at it the whole month, is that it's too much information, too much energy, and energy is going forward, backward, and therefore it is definitely will be confusing for us, and it is easy to make a wrong choice. So always my motto is be patient, take your time in analyzing what is the right thing for you. Everybody has a different right thing for them, but mostly if you don't think it through and just follow what everybody else is doing, that may not be the correct thing. So think about your choices, what is right for you, your family, your country, your world, all those things are there. But definitely too many changes are taking place, so it is important to be very conscious of it. So let me just walk you through few of them, and also just to remind you that I will be making separate videos for all these events. Already I posted a video for Saturn retrograde and the triple retrograde, and I'll be posting videos for Venus and Jupiter retrograde, and then all the others. So this is just a summary of what is going to be happening. 4th of May, Mars moves out of Capricorn. It has been exalted for the last 1.5 months. So it goes into Aquarius. Mars is a warrior planet. In Aquarius, not its best position by transit. Remember, it's different for your chart, but by transit. Aquarius is very Vata planet, lot of air energy, and Mars is fire, so it can make you more angry or frustrated. So you have to keep always the calm aspect, or don't give in to that. Don't, if you are feeling angry at 5, this can put the meter up to 20. So you have to be very conscious of that. Mercury is going to go 9th of May into Taurus and 24th of May into Gemini. So it's a quick stop. Mercury does this, it stays for a short time in 3 signs and then a long time in the 4th sign. So we've had a quick transit in Pisces, Aries, and then 9th it goes into Taurus. So actually Mercury is going into a very sober place. Mercury is moving out of its combustion, out of the shadow of the sun. It is moving into more energized Mercury, but stable Mercury. So our thinking that Mercury guides will be much easier to deal with. And then it has a major role to play in Gemini. It will move into Gemini on 24th. It is its own sign, where Mercury will stay there till 1st of August. So it's a long stay in Gemini, but it will also break the Kalsarpa Yoga. So that Kalsarpa Yoga, the destabilization situation will change after Mercury hits. And then the Kalsarpa Yoga is broken. We still have one section of 15 days of Kalsarpa Yoga. So do remember that there is some instability there. Then, of course, the 3 retrogrades, 10th for Saturn, 13th for Venus, 14th for Jupiter. Maybe one day later if you are in Australia or India and Asia. But it is also important to remember that is very complex transit. Saturn, Venus and Jupiter, we may change our mind. We don't know what is happening. So those 5 days, 4 days, don't do things that are not necessary, and be restrained with whatever you're thinking. And especially Saturn retrograde always can bring protests and frustration. You know, Saturn can be a very angry planet, and it is not so much looked at. And when he gets retrograde, it's like a pressure cooker. So around 10th of May, you don't want that to just burst. You want to keep it under restraint. And then we get Rahu moving into Mrigasira Nakshatra. And I will definitely make a separate video of that, but it is moving out of Ardhara Nakshatra. And I said Rahu in Mrigasira will be under charge of Soma, the moon. And many of you misunderstood. And I had a lot of feedback that no, Mrigasira is ruled by Mars, not by moon. Actually, the deity from Mrigasira is the moon. It is Soma. So there is the blessing of Soma, blessing of Amrita in Mrigasira. And very beautiful energy is there. Mars is the ruler of the nakshatra, and moon is the devata or the deity of the nakshatra. So just clarifying this, I got so many people writing about it. So I'm sorry I made I was thinking about the devata and I said moon, Soma. So yes, it is moon is the deity of the devatas are very important when you're judging the nakshatras. And so they give the blessing to the nakshatra, and we need to look at that as well. So what is happening is that Rahu will no longer be in its own nakshatra, and Ketu continues to be in Mula, but then that alliance of them both being in own nakshatra, and they are usually the most powerful planets, and they create a lot of fear and anxiety. So Rahu is strong still, so don't get me wrong, but he's also moving towards his exaltation in September. But he's not being in that very karmic position. So Rahu in Mrigasira, and then the Kalsarpa breaks. So this whole month is to be treated with kid gloves. It's like when you have been hungry for a long time, you get food. If you eat too much, you can have an upset stomach. In the same way, we have been in very pure enclosed environment at home, not doing anything. So as we start moving out, we have to take care with all the things and be aware that we are not creating more problems for ourselves. So how is this month going to affect you? So as far as Aries is concerned, Aries, Mars is going to go into your 11th house, which is the house of profit, money, finances. So that is good energy for you, but just be careful that you don't allow too much hot air, too much things to build up with you. So if you feel that, do some exercise, go for some walk. That is important. You do have Venus strong in your second house, which is to do with finances. And the Mercury, of course, is changing, leaves Aries, so helps you not being so impulsive about things. Taurus, this is the month where your ascendant ruler is going to retrograde. So what you're thinking just now, you may just suddenly change your mind, and you can feel some kind of restraint that you are not able to move forward. Your thinking is being obstructed. So it is okay, because the restraint is important, that to take time to think things through and use the Venus retrograde. Mercury will come into Taurus as well, so your thinking will be very stable, bright after that 9th of May. But at the same time, that retrograde, how it affects how you feel, then you keep that into the equation. That is important factor, I would say. Gemini, Mercury is in Aries, in Taurus. In Aries, it's combust. Taurus is your 12th house, so not the best energy for you. Effort not always getting rewarded. So it's good to do something spiritual, something positive. But by the end of the month, Mercury has a long stay in Gemini, and it is going to be very productive for you. So you have to see how you manage the early part of the month, but towards the end, then you will be in your natural good strength. Cancer, you are used to the changing energy of the moon, but the key factors this month is that Mars goes into Aquarius, which is your 8th house. So it can bring some sudden changes, especially regarding your work and home situation. And you have to just be a bit cautious, because 8th house is unexpected events and things. And watch for the day Moon also goes into Aquarius. So that is one thing. And then, Venus is strong. It's there in your 11th house and giving money and finances. But the retrograde can have a different spin to the finances. So be very conscious about your earning and expenses around that time. Leo, Sun will move out of Aries and goes into the 10th house. That's a good position for you. It is focus on career, on future, on personal effort. I think the main thing is this, that Mars comes into your 7th house of relationships. So watch out for arguments with spouse. You may feel lack of support there, and there can be some volatility as far as relationships are concerned. Virgo, Mercury moves out of Aries. That is very good for you because it will go into Taurus on 9th of May, and that is an excellent position for you. And then the rest of the month, it is okay. You see, when the Lagna Lord is in a good position, you feel quite empowered. And you can look at your Moon Lord as well. He's also in, if your Moon is in Virgo, he's also in a good position. You will feel empowered by that to keep to your own truth and decide what is correct for you, what to do. And Mars going into Aquarius is in the 6th house for you. And that can be a bit, you want to fight some fights, or you want to argue with people. But actually, it'll give you the courage to do things that you were not doing before. But I would say the main thing is that Mercury is in a good position. It's also going to be with Venus in 9th Lord. So that is going to be very supportive for you. Then Libra, Venus turns retrograde. So for Libra, this is an important month when your ascendant ruler turns retrograde and is encouraging you to think back about what is happening in the last 2 years. And even if your moon is in Libra, it is about retrospective, thinking about what is happening and how to deal with the situation. And it is, the overall unsettled energy. You have to find the balance, because Libra is all about balance. So you have to keep your balance, take your time making any decisions. That is the most important thing. Scorpio, your ascendant ruler Mars leaves Scorpio and goes into Aquarius. It is the fourth house home. Always when a planet leaves its exaltation, it's a bit unsettled then, because it's like you've had the topmost energy and then you're coming down from it. So you do need to take some time over it and process that change. And it's almost at the same time the other retrogrades are taking place. And I made video about the retrogrades, so how they affect you, you can check there. Yeah, and Venus continues to be strong, seventh house, so partners will be supportive, but they can turn awkward because when Venus turns retrograde for you. Sagittarius, this is the month when your ascendant ruler, moon ruler, will turn retrograde. And so suddenly you're moving forward and you have to stop and watch the scenery. Where do you want to go? What is the thing? As yet, Jupiter is not ready to be in Capricorn, so it will retrograde back. By end of June, it will be back in Sagittarius. So this is sort of walking back some steps, some things you have done, moving back and deciding later on to explore Capricorn again. So deciding what you want to do. And especially watch 14th of May when Jupiter turns retrograde. But overall, this whole month, as I've already said, it is too many changes, so can go chaotic if you're not careful. Capricorn, of course, your ascendant ruler is turning retrograde, moon ruler is turning retrograde. And if you're Capricorn moon, then Saturn is on your moon. So it is a rather challenging month for you. But it is also important to recognize that Mars has moved out of Saturn. Out of Saturn's energy. So although Mars was exalted and Saturn was there together, there were two malefic energies. So they were really pressurizing you. So Mars movement into Aquarius will be a positive aspect for you. And Aquarius now, you are getting Mars in your ascendant from 4th of May, and it's going to be there all month. So a lot of energy. And Mars also rules your 10th house of career. So you may be thinking what I should do regarding my work and career, and 3rd house of self-effort. But at the same time, Saturn is turning retrograde. So you are being pushed forward and pushed backward at the same time. So it is wise head should prevail during this month for Aquarius to think how this contrary energy is affecting you. Venus is also going to turn retrograde. It is supportive, but then it's not behaving so supportive just now because of its retrograde energy. Don't allow that energy of Mars to take you off path. So think of the bigger picture. Think of May as a month, not to act on the bigger picture. Pisces, your ascendant or moon ruler is going to turn retrograde. And so it is definitely something that you're going to change your mind about. And also it is important to recognize that you're not ready as yet to go into the Capricorn sphere. You're going back to Sagittarius, and Mars goes into the 12th house of expenses, and that can be frustrating. There can be some unexpected expense, so keep control of your finances. And also, the fact is this, that Mercury will move out of Aries into Taurus, so it can be encouraging you to do something, take action, communicate, but during this time when your ascendant moon ruler is going to go retrograde and things are slowing down, I would say ponder about situations, think what you want to do. This is not a month to act. So that is it for May. And I would say the key thing for May is to understand the forces that are all coming together and to be restrained with your choices. And then you will navigate it much better. Thank you. And do remember to subscribe. I appreciate you all. Thanks very much.